Hi, hello! Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm talking about all the horror books coming out in the summer that I'm most excited about. I am fully vaccinated now, and I don't feel that great. I'm just a little tired, and I didn't feel like putting on any makeup, so, you know, whatever, you're just gonna have to deal with it. I just want to talk about books. I got most of these books on tornightfire.com, which is the blog from the publisher Tor Nightfire, and they publish horror books, and they posted an extensive list back in January of the entire year of upcoming horror books. So I'm gonna go look between June and August and talk about the books that I'm most excited about from that list. First, we're gonna talk about all the books that I'm excited about in June. The first book that I'm most excited to read from June is The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dalila Harris. I'm sorry if I said that name wrong. This is out June 1st. The Other Black Girl is an electric debut about the tension that unfurls when two young black women meet against the starkly white backdrop of New York City book publishing. I am very excited about this because I used to work in book publishing. Book publishing has always been my dream job, but then I got into book publishing and it was a little different than I expected. I never worked in New York. That's like the ultimate dream. So I'm really excited to see this. It sounds right up my alley. The next book coming out in June that I'm most excited about is Shudder by Melissa Larson, and this is out June 15th. A young woman agrees to star in a filmmaker's latest project, but soon realizes the movie is not what she expected in this chilling debut novel. I don't know much, but I love that a movie element is in this, and if something goes wrong, that's all I need to know. Say no more. I'm in. The next book I'm most excited about is Moon Lake by Joe R. Lansdale. This is coming out June 22nd, and I'm most excited about this because the author, he's an Edgar Award-winning author. I've never read anything by him before, but he's always popping up on recommendation lists, so that's one reason I'm drawn to this book. The book is a standalone novel following the gripping and unexpected tale of the lost town and dark secret that lie beneath the glittering waters of an East Texas lake. Small town vibes. I love small town spookiness, so I'm in. The next book I am most excited about for June is The Queen of the Cicadas by V. Castro, and this is releasing on June 22nd. I am most excited about this book because I just recently read V. Castro's book, The Goddess of Filth. It's a novella about a group of teens that have a seance and one of the friends becomes possessed, and it's a nice feminist tale reminiscent of The Craft that I loved. And I just really enjoyed V. Castro's writing style and her writing voice. Barlow is having a field day in the back. So this story, it takes place in 1950s South Texas. A farm worker from Mexico is murdered. Her death is ignored by the town, but not the Aztec goddess of death, I can't say this word. The goddess hears the dying cries of Milagros and creates a plan for both to be physically reborn by feeding on vengeance and worship. 70 years later, the new owners of the farmhouse find themselves immersed in the legend of Milagros and realize it is a part of their fate as well. This sounds good. It sounds creepy. And I love that it's immersed in the Mexican culture. This is stuff I don't know anything about, so I'm excited to learn more. That's one of the things I loved about The Goddess of Filth, is learning about the Goddess of Filth, and I wanted more. I wanted more of the culture side of the story. I wanted to learn more. So this looks like it's a full novel, full-length novel, so I think I'm gonna get the more that I was looking for from Goddess of Filth, but I highly recommend Goddess of Filth if you haven't read it. It's really good. Next, we're talking about all the books I'm excited for in July. The first one I am most anticipated about is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, and this comes out July 13th. I love Grady Hendrix. He's one of my favorite authors, and this one is described as Hendrix's homage to slasher films. It follows a group of 6 girls who belong to a survivors support group that has been meeting for nearly 2 decades, and I'm assuming something goes wrong, as things do in horror books, and in Grady Hendrix's books. I love his stories, I love his voice, I love his female characters, and I'm excited to meet all the final girls in this one. The next book I'm most excited about for July is The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas. This releases July 13th, and it's described as Get Out meets Danielle Vega in the YA social thriller where survival is not a guarantee. I love Get Out. I loved Danielle Vega's The Merciless, so I'm excited to see how those two meet. I don't really know anything about this. It sounds like a possession horror. So with social commentary, thank you. I need it, and it's out July 13th. What more can you ask for? And the cover looks fucking good. It's terrifying. I'm in. Another book I'm anticipating is The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig, and this is out July 20th. I was actually sent an early copy of this, so I'm excited to dig in and read. The description here says a family returns to their hometown and to the dark past that haunts them still in this masterpiece of literary horror by the New York Times bestselling author of The Wanderers. The last book I'm excited to read in July is Come With Me by Ronald Malfi. This releases July 20th, and it's described as a masterful, heart-palpitating novel of small-town horror and psychological dread from a Bram Stoker nominee. That doesn't tell me a whole lot about the book, but it tells me enough. The author is clearly good at what they do, and it's a small-town horror story. I love stories set in small towns. You got me there. I don't need to know more. Thank you. Next is August. There's a lot coming out in August. One of them I'm kind of anticipated for is All's Well by Mona Awad. That releases August 3rd. This is the follow-up to Bunny, which is a weird as fuck book about a group of girls. They're like in a prestigious school and weird shit happens. I don't even know how to describe it. It's so weird. So I'm assuming this is going to be just as weird. Bunny read very much like a fever dream, so I can only imagine how this is going to read. It's a darkly funny novel about a theater professor suffering from chronic pain who is in the process of staging a troubled production of Shakespeare's most maligned play, suddenly and miraculously recovers. Okay. And then the next book I'm excited to read is Billy Summers by Stephen King, which is out August 3rd. I love Stephen King. I'll read whatever he writes. This follows a killer for hire who only kills the worst of the worst and who's very, very good at what he does. When he's hired for his biggest job yet, though, everything starts to go horribly wrong. So I don't know what this means. I don't think this sounds like horror to me. Kind of sounds like Dexter. So we'll see. I don't know. I'll read it. I'll read it. Ooh, okay. The next book I'm excited to read is Tide Pool by Nicole Wilson, and this is out August 3rd as well. It's a Lovecraftian dark fantasy that gets a modern treatment in this terrifying debut novel. When Sorrow's brother Henry disappears while on a business trip, she travels to Tide Pool, the last place Henry is known to have visited. Residents of the small, shabby oceanside town can't quite meet Sorrow's eyes when she asks about her brother. And when she discovers the town's dark secret, some denizens of Tide Pool, human and otherwise, are hell-bent on making sure Sorrow never leaves their forsaken town. This sounds just like Dagon, which is a movie by Stu Gordon? I don't know. Dagon is based on a Lovecraft story, and I love that movie. I haven't read any Lovecraft before, but I love that story, and this sounds just like it, and it's a modern take on it, and probably it sounds really good, so I'm really excited. I love fishing towns and small villages by the water because I'm from New England. That shit just gets to my core, so I'm really excited to read this. It sounds interesting and unlike anything I've ever read. The next book I'm most excited about is The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins, and this is also out August 3rd. August 3rd has a bunch of releases that I'm really excited about. I first heard about Stephanie Perkins when she wrote There's Someone Watching, or no, There's Someone Inside Your House or something. It was like a Scream YA thriller. I didn't actually like that one. So this one is a traditional backwoods horror story set first page to last in the woods of the Pisaga National Forest in Blue Ridge Mountains. Two girls go backpacking in the woods. Things go very wrong, and then their paths collide with a serial killer. Are you kidding? I love backwoods horror. I love learning about serial killers, and hopefully these girls fuck this serial killer up. I'm very excited for this. I have high hopes. Oh, the next one I'm most excited about for August is called Dagger Hill by Devin Taylor, and this comes out August 17th. This is described as Stranger Things meets One of Us is Lying. two things I love. It's the creepy paranormal mystery about a group of 4 friends who find themselves haunted by a malevolent presence in their sleepy hometown. I'm a huge Stranger Things fan. I love kids fighting monsters, and I love small towns, like I've said previously. So that one is for me. It's written for me. Other one I'm seeing on here, which I'm kind of interested in because I kind of liked one of this author's other works, is Getaway by Zoja Stage, which is out August 17th, a cinematic and terrifying new thriller from the best-selling author of Baby Teeth in Wonderland about 3 friends who hike into the wilds of the Grand Canyon only to find it's not so easy to leave the world behind. This sounds like a survival horror, and I like survival horror, but I didn't really like Baby Teeth because it was marketed as full-on like horror, Rosemary's Baby, and it wasn't that. It was a completely different story. And her second story, Wonderland, was marketed as being like The Shining. I think that's the problem here, is her books are marketed as being something else, and I go in all hyped and then they turn out to be something completely different. So that might not be the author's fault, it's the book publisher's fault. So we'll see. I might check this one out. It sounds interesting. And the one of my most anticipated is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones, which releases on August 31st. This one, in her quickly gentrifying rural lake town, Jade sees recent events only her encyclopedic knowledge of horror films could have prepared her for in the latest novel from horror master Stephen Graham Jones. I love that the main character is a horror fan, and I'm excited to see horror references sprinkled throughout, and I'm excited to see what the hell's going on in this small little town. Stephen Graham Jones' writing is so unique and interesting, and I don't think it's for everybody, but I can't get enough of it. It just weirds me out. Night of the Mannequins was super weird, but I was so compelled and intrigued the whole time. Only Good Indians was so atmospheric and creepy and unsettling, and I loved a majority of that story. I didn't like where it went in the last half, but I think Stephen Graham Jones' writing is so beautiful and unique, and I just love it. I love what he's doing. I love that he takes risks. I'm excited to read this and see what he does with Final Girls, the Final Girl trope. And there you have it. Those are all the upcoming horror releases for the summer between the months of June and August that I'm super pumped about. And these were all taken from tornightfire.com. I'll leave that list link down below so you can check it out and add a ton of these books to your TBR because they seem amazing. Are you excited for any of the books on my list? What are you most excited to read this summer? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll leave all my social links down below so we can connect on there, so we can become spooky besties and talk about spooky shit. And I'll catch you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.